take the wheel off, use a 19mm socket. Pull the wheel off, take a 15mm wrench. We're going to slide that on the pin, and then a 13mm socket. Take this bolt out, and also the one up top here. Just slide the caliper off. Now there is a parking brake cable attached to it, so it might be in the way a little bit, but just be careful. And then if you need to, you can take these this wire off right here. This is attached to the brake hose. This is for your ABS, or the wheel speed sensor, just so that doesn't get pinched. Just use a hanger to prevent the brake caliper from hanging on the hose for too much. Slide that in there. That can sit like that. And I can just slide the brake pads out, just like that, and like that. Use an 18mm socket and take these two bolts out. Grab the bracket and just slide it off. If your rotor is not loose, you can take a hammer and just hit in these areas and tap it. You should be able to break it free. Slide off the rotor. If your hub is rusty, just take a wire brush. You need to clean this area. Take a little brake parts cleaner, clean this off. You can put a thin layer of anti-seize on this. Now we want to clean up this caliper bracket. Take a small screwdriver, take these pad slides out, or anti-squeal, anti-rattle clips off. Get underneath here, slide those off. You want to take a wire brush and clean anything in here, any contaminants or rust. Wipe that off. Take a little grease, just put a little bit of grease right there and right there. Take the new clips, line them up. And these only go on one way, so there is clips for different sides. And this one goes right there. Take a little more caliper grease. Just put a little caliper grease there and right there. And then we'll do the same for the other side. Now we can take these caliper guide pins off, pull those out, take some brake parts cleaner, and wipe this down. Take a little brake parts cleaner and spray in there, clean that out. You can take the rag, clean some of that out as well. Take a little bit of caliper grease, slide it on the pin, reinsert the pin, make sure it seals. Do the same for the other side. Take the rotor, slide it on backwards, take some brake parts cleaner. We're going to clean the coating off of the rotor. Just wipe it off with a rag. Flip it over. Do the same on this side. Slide the caliper bracket over the rotor. Take the two bolts, get those installed. Now torque these two bolts to 74 foot-pounds. Now install these brake pads. The pad with the squealer is going to go on the inside, facing down. And the other pad with nothing is going to go on the outside. Now we can take the caliper, take the hanger off, and we need to compress this caliper piston. You're going to need a special tool like this that actually rotates the piston as it pushes it in. Line the pin up with the piston, and as the piston gets rotated, it also gets pushed in. And it can loosen up the tool. And you want to try to have that piston go in the same direction that it was when you took it off. We can slide the piston, slide the caliper over the brake pads. Take this wheel speed sensor or ABS wire, Reattach that to the brake hose. Just make sure it's not getting pinched underneath the caliper. Take these two brake caliper screws, brake caliper bolts, reinstall those. Now we're going to torque these bolts to 26 foot-pounds. Now install the tire. Install the lug nuts. Now we're going to torque these wheels to 100 foot-pounds in a star pattern. I want to do it in a star pattern to tighten the wheel down evenly. You want to make sure you pump the brake pedal to take up the air gap between the piston and the brake pads. And then check your brake fluid level and adjust accordingly.